Hi guys, welcome to Connectra, a platform where we're uniting and uplifting all the businesses of the Jain community. Today we're excited to welcome a rising star in the world of interiors, the creative force behind Elite Design Studio. Known for a fresh perspective, eye for detail, and ability to turn every space into curated experience, she's quickly making a name in the design world. Please welcome the talented young interior designer, Divya Jain, the founder of Elite Design Studio. Hi Divya, what's up?
Hi, how are you?
Good. What's
All
happening?
Working as usual.
So, Divya, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how did you get started in the world of interior designing?
So obviously you've introduced my company. It is called Elite Design Studio, and I started this firm 6 years back. And I was always interested, in art, collecting like art pieces, decor. I used to get fascinated looking at some beautiful piece and all. It just used to attract me, which gave me a flow to pursue this career. And immediately, like after my 12th, I started with this journey of interior designing. And here I am today with 7 years of experience and completed like more than 50 plus projects. And yeah, carrying forward to my journey will be 100 plus projects soon. So, yep.
Is there any family background?
No, nothing. Completely different line of career that I've chosen. My family, my brother, my dad, both are doing something else, and I'm totally into an opposite line of career.
Great. So, was there a defining moment when you knew that this was the career path for me? When did you think that this is it? Like, I want to be an interior designer.
Yeah, like it used to always like make me feel like like that something is just attracting me towards it. Like if I am going and visiting some museum or some like art piece, it used to just catch me like, okay, yeah, this is a beauty. I want to work around that thing. So I always used to go to museums, architecture. I used to love going to fort area, like to see those architecture, how the windows are, how the architect over there is, Kolaba area. So it always used to fascinate me, those buildings which used to attract me. And then it was like, I have to pursue this and incorporate in real life or something. So then I decided to go ahead and do this.
So, did you study interior design formally or are you completely self-taught?
A mix of both, you can say, because of course to get somewhere you have to study it. So I studied formally, and then of course with experience and doing friends and family's houses, I eventually started my own firm.
How do you describe your design style?
Completely modern, minimalistic. I like clean lines or more of earthy tones, and then I like adding a lot of lights in the house. So that's my style, like modern, simple with minimalism, and nice art decor. A lot of personal touch, like what clients like to have in their house. So I like clients' opinion as well.
And where do you draw your inspiration from? Like people or places or things?
So inspiration generally comes for me by traveling, meeting new people, understanding people's needs when I'm doing their house. I just don't like to put my thoughts or my ideas to the house that I'm doing. I personally understand a client's perspective first. What are client's emotions towards that house, and listening to that, we try to incorporate and put their personal touches in the house, incorporating our designs, of course, and then we give that outcome to the client.
What's your creative process like when you're starting a new project from scratch? So how do you go about it? How do you begin?
Okay, so we personally first have a one-on-one meeting with a client, understand their functionality, perspective, what are the requirements for the flat and everything. Then my team gets on a board and we give a mood board and a concept sheet according to their requirement. And that's when we give the detailed mood boards, concept sheets, everything, and then we move forward with the other plans.
So, Divya, tell me what has been the most challenging project that you worked on so far?
Actually, every project is challenging project, of course. But recently, like we just finished one commercial project, which was with a timeline of just like 25 days, and it was a big challenge for us. But of course, me being me, we have to accept the challenge, and we delivered it, and the clients are very happy about it, and they loved it also, and they were very excited to show around their entire family members, their office staff, everybody, and they enjoyed it.
The 25 days is like...
Yeah, like we completed it in 25 days, and we have been doing houses as well, like just in 3 months, 4 months. We don't exceed a lot. We do it in timeline. Like, so that's our motto, and that's what our you can say strength, like the company's strength, that we try to deliver as soon as possible, and we don't take much time of clients.
Great. So are you doing it all alone? Do you have a partner?
No, I don't have a partner, but we have a team. Of course, my team takes care of the behind the stuff, and the solo person who's handling the company.
So, you're really young, so as a young designer, how do you handle clients who can maybe underestimate your experience?
So basically, when such clients come to us, we don't give up, obviously. Our work speaks for it. And we happily accept if there are mistakes also. But we make sure in the end, the client is happy, and we deliver to the fullest what they are demanding from us. Because they are paying us, firstly. And I don't want them to be disappointed, because for us, clients are like God. And we really want them to be happy, because eventually I'm just going to design the house and leave. They're going to live there for God knows how many years. So for that, we make sure that every client is happy in their house.
Have you ever made a designing mistake? How do you handle it?
Many, I think every project teaches us a lot after handing over to the client, and every client is different. So definitely we make mistake on every project, but we make sure that we learn from it and we do not repeat it, and practice that rechecking, rescheduling, retiming everything that we have done in our past, and not repeating in our future projects. So we always learn out of it.
So tell me, what current design trends are you loving, and which ones do you think are overrated?
Okay, so my favorite personally design trend that I like is earthy tones. I love to go for earthy tones. I like Japanese style look, so they complement a lot of earthy tones in that. So I like to follow a lot of Japanese designers also, and the color palettes are very calm, soothing in the house. So you also naturally connect to the nature. So like, I don't like much of drama. I like to keep it minimal, but drama should be there in art.
Yeah.
Like, I love putting pop like in art pieces, in flooring, some drama with lights, some drama with maybe an accent piece like a furniture, beautiful accent piece that can, reflect your space. But the walls, the feel of the space has to be connected to the nature. That's like my overrated, I would say. Fast furniture trend. Everybody wants a easy furniture, easy, quick furniture, or you can say like a IKEA furniture or a Pepperfry furniture, which doesn't last for a longer period, but you just want temporarily use it, throw it. I don't believe in that, honestly. I want pieces that are beautifying your house, and of course like you are enjoying to have that feel, comfort, and when you look at it, like you like to go and sit on it or feel it or like have it in your house. Otherwise, you're just like bringing it to the house just for the functionality and not using it and throwing it.
Yeah.
That's it.
But there are clients sometimes like earthy tones and maybe calmness, and as you mentioned. So how do you deal with them?
So what happens is when clients like that have their own opinion, I do listen to it. But we try to incorporate some kind of we then balance it out. Like we add earthy tones maybe to certain areas, and then we listen to, of course, the clients what are their requirement. If they want some beautiful marble piece with a TV unit, or they want a beautiful say carpet with a sofa. So we mute the tone of the sofa, and then we can have a loud carpet or something like that, which will obviously add my earthy tone as well, and it will fulfill clients' need also.
But I'm quite
Like we add drama by adding an art, a beautiful carpet, a beautiful accent piece of furniture, a chair. It can be a chair. It can be a nice, beautiful pot or a sculpture that we can add in the space. So all that can create a drama in your house. You don't need to add any kind of a wall drama or something like that. You can keep earthy on wall and go accent otherwise.
Yeah, but somebody wants red sofa and a red carpet.
No,
Like
it's
want to
okay,
go all flashy. So
no, I think flashy can not. It's not needed to be over a sofa or a carpet or something. We have to balance it. So of course, it's a communication that we need to bring to the client. It's not gonna look good. It's not gonna look good. We have to understand.
So what's your take on sustainability in interior design?
Oh, so we believe in sustainability like a lot. We don't waste anything on our side. So even a basic piece of ply or a material that has been not used or it's been cut out because it's wasted and we just needed it that much only, we still use that piece in making some kind of creativity, and we use it on the wall by making an art piece out of a veneer, out of a wood, out of a ply, out of a maybe laminate, but we create something out of it and we make sure that the flat is, some art piece or some way they are using it back. We don't waste anything on our side.
Okay, so it's great for the environment.
Yeah, it's great for the environment as well.
So who are your design heroes or your favorite designers?
So my personal favorite designers are, I follow a lot of Kelly Kessler designs. She's an international designer. Indian designers that I follow is Ashish Shah, Isagi Zatir, and Karan Desai. They are my favorite, like all-time favorite. I love their designs and I get a lot of inspiration from their designs.
How do you stay motivated? And sometimes there's a creative blackout. You don't know what to think of and what you create in the empty space. So how do you just clear all of that?
Travel. I will just go to travel and choose a place where I can obviously get motivated with what my work is. So I'll try to choose a place where I can see a lot of architecture, where I can see a lot of art, a lot of museums, and I can get that inspiration back with me and clear my head also and go with the nature and then come back and then back to work with that inspiration.
That's great. So what's the one design rule that you always follow and one that you would love to break?
One design rule that I always follow is that I believe the house should be functional. It should not be very fancy also, and it should not be very non-realistic. I always believe that the house should be functional with their own design elements. The one design rule that I would love to break is that clients not having a stereotype. Like they need to clear their head when they're giving a designer some job and be like, have that confidence in that designer that she'll do her best and give us a creative freedom. So we can also go bold, we can also go do our best, of course, to deliver best to them. And that freedom we need, like that creative freedom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. So there's this one thing that is happening in all the houses right now. You switch on a button, the curtains go up. You switch on a button, the drawers open. You switch on a button and the doors open. What's your take on that?
Oh, I love it. I would love to have an automated house because it's easy for me as well. And it's the best thing, like in today's world, having a modern house is actually that you get yourself upgraded with modern technology, and I always believe in upgrading to that. I'm saying functional, but it can be modernized. So get modernized in ways like that. No need to add like a lot of other stuff, but make it more functional with all these stuff. Like I believe even in kitchen, you should have all the easy going technologies or maybe electronics. Like oven, have a smart oven, have a smart hob, have a smart washing machine dryer. Why we Indians have this thing that we dry our clothes, removing it and putting it in the window and all of that we do. I don't think so it's needed. We have a machine called dryer. Put your clothes in that and just do it.
Yeah, just relax.
Like,
Not
just-
lots to relax.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you are supposed to plan your things. And I always believe in that. So, modern technology is something that I would always want in my house.
How do you use social media to grow your design?
Social media, I believe, is like a designer platform for me. Like, it's a portfolio that I can build there to connect with my audience, and of course, they can relate what work we do. And yeah, it's helpful, like, for us.
So, what's been the most effective way for you to find new clients?
Majorly, it's word of mouth. Like we've been, and our work speaks, of course. So every flat we've done, we've majorly got happy clients, and definitely like always got word of mouth a lot. So it's always transferred.
Yeah. When they see your work, they
Yeah, it's always transferred.
great. So, I have like a quick rapid fire for you. You can just quickly answer what's your.
Yeah, sure.
So, what's your favorite color palette right now?
Oh, my favorite color palette is olive. I love OD as well. More of wine, like just to add pop.
So, dream client.
One who can give me freedom for creativity.
Your one design item you think is totally underrated.
Oh, so lighting, of course, because I like adding a lot of lights to the space. It beautifies the house completely.
What's next for you in your design journey?
For me to open a studio as well and add a product line where all my clients can source out furniture from my store as well. So I want to add that in my design journey.
Great, all the best to you. Coming to that, so there's like this thing in the market that interior designers charge commission on maybe products or furniture. Is it true? What is the whole thing behind it?
See, every person has a different perspective to make money. Everybody is making money in the market. So these are just the ways to make money. I don't totally believe that you should do this because our USP is that we don't work on commission basis at all. And that's why we have minimal projects, but we have best projects because not every client can afford us. Because our prices are also not too low, not too high, but they are nominal. So we obviously take a proper design fee for the job that we are delivering to you, so that we don't need to find knickknacks and find a way to earn money like this. So we don't believe in commission at all. My firm is completely non-commissional based firm where we only focus on giving the client the deliverables that we are doing and charge on that basis.
So, what's the one piece of advice you'd like to give to your younger self?
I always want to be motivated and not give up on my career, obviously, and keep growing in my life. That's right.
All the best to you.
Thank you.
So that was a great conversation with Divya. And for more such podcasts, please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.